Hey, so I massively miscalculated how much time I needed before I had to leave for work. And so I have like an hour, and here I am. So I just wanted to talk about ancestral trauma and generational trauma. Because we often, I think, look at that as something that's a little over our heads and a little beyond reach, but it doesn't have to be. And it also doesn't have to be challenging or difficult. I think we think that when it's not difficult, it's not worth it. But it's funny because I had one lady, a customer who, was thinking about signing up, thinking about like booking with me for a session. And we were talking about working with trauma in the energy field. And she was like, do I have to talk? I'm done talking. I'm sick of talking about this. And I was like, no, actually you don't. Like, I might kind of get inklings of things that I'll mention to you during the session, but you don't have to answer and you don't have to confirm anything. And I don't have to say anything if you don't want me to. I usually do because people resonate with that, I think, a little better usually. But, it doesn't have to be a big mountain to climb. So I think if we just take that one step at a time instead of feeling like we're taking on the whole world and all of our past and all of our future and our whole family, just one step at a time. Okay, I have a funny thing. Since I'm doing a talking video, I have a funny story to share. So back in the day, I went to visit my friend on Vancouver Island, and we went out to the ocean, and we're sitting on these rocks, and it was beautiful, and we smoked a bowl, and so I was not quite in the same capacity as I was when we got down there. And then we had to get back up. Now, keep in mind, we had to like scale this wall of rocks to get back up onto real land. And I was not in the greatest condition at that moment. It was fun, but kind of a little bit stressful. So as we're climbing, I noticed that when I would look up to where we needed to be, I would freeze and I would get so anxious and so scared. But if all I looked at what was right immediately in front of me, this is the rock that I need to grab onto, and this is where I need to put my foot, instead of having that overwhelming sense of I need to be way up there and I'm way down here and I'm terrified. So instead of having that terrifying, overwhelming, long view, just look at the next step. Because that's so much easier and so much, and it's necessary, right? Like, we need to be there. And if we're looking way up here and we're not seeing that next place that we need to be to get up there, then that's not good either, right? So it's for the best in all ways, really. Now, as far as ancestral trauma, what I was originally actually wanting to talk about was working with that in the energy field. So Eileen McCusick talks about the ancestral rivers, is what she calls it. And she says about 6 inches from the energy, or from our body in the energy field, is our ancestral rivers. So that's where we store all of that generational trauma, is like right about here. And if when doing a tuning fork session, we stick a fork right in there, it can really help to pacify that energy and to bring it back into a proper balance. So I've done that with a few clients. It's not something I dive into without it coming up ahead of time. I don't think it's something that people are necessarily always ready for, and I don't think it's something that's necessarily guys, stop. Be nice. Be nice to each other. Sorry. This is a place of love. We don't beat up our sisters. So, anyway, yeah, it's a lot to dive into. So that's something that I don't do unless invited to do, or unless it's kind of covered ahead of time. Anyway, a story that Eileen McCusick tells, which the first time I read it, I cried because it's just beautiful. So she was teaching a class in Hawaii, I believe, and she had all of the people who were learning from her, and all of them were working on one person. So the lady that they were working on was Maori, I don't know how to actually pronounce that. Maori, I know how to spell it. Anyway, and so they're all working on her, and they get into her ancestral rivers, and when they did, like Eileen says, she felt it, and then everybody else in the room confirmed it, but she felt this presence come in and felt this lady's ancestors all come in, and they worked through the energy, and then at the end of the session she kind of looked up and she could almost see them all there, and she said, and this is from someone who came at energy work from a scientific point of view, because she was a massage therapist first. She got into tuning forks just to work on the body in massage therapy, and then noticed that they did a lot more than she expected them to do. Anyway, so she, after this session, when she kind of was wrapping everything up, she said she felt all of the ancestors, or maybe not all, but this line of people, of souls, come in and look at her, and they all bowed. And then they stood back up and they disappeared. And she was like, whoa, whoa. And everybody in the room felt it. And there were, I think she does classes of like 6 or 8 people or something like that. So all of these people felt this. And I think that's pretty incredible. So anyway, yes, working in the ancestral rivers can really bring up and help to heal and pacify those energies. And as she explains it, it can go up and down the line. So to people before you, and to your children and your children's children, or your cats, perhaps. So yeah, I thought that was cool. I'm gonna do a session for ancestral healing. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it. I'll have to think that through and kind of figure out how to, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be as hard as I'm thinking. It's all intention, right? Everything's all intention. So I think that's all I have to say. Ooh, this is probably gonna be my shortest video, not counting cat videos, probably ever. It's like 9 minutes. And that's if I shut up right now, which you never know. Yeah, okay. So anyway, it's gonna be a good day. My cards said so. I was expecting a little bit of a unsettled kind of little confrontation, and it doesn't look like that's happening today, which I'm not surprised about, because some people procrastinate even worse than I do, and that's okay. So anyway, love you guys, and I look forward to doing this session, and I'm kind of excited, and maybe I won't wait the whole week. We'll see what I have time for. Yeah, love you, and take care, and see you next time.